that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. All right, and so happy Thanksgiving to those of you who actually celebrated. All right, I hope everyone has a wonderful day today. So let's get into it. Hello, mommy, V Maltzby, Silent D is in the house. Okay, Wanda, Juju is here. Hush Harbor, Jerry, Silent D, Mr. Mystical Black Realms, Tamisha, Tawana, Anisha, Kathy B. Okay, so let's get into it. Lillian's in the house, Jerry. Juju, I see you, Midnight Green. Okay, so listen, Pearly, I'm going to give people a minute to get in here because I posted this at the last minute. All right, I posted this at the last minute, like right before I started the live. So I'm going to give people a minute to get in here. Hey, Alex. All right, so Dragon Lily, I see you. Asia Lee's in the house. Okay, Bree H, Sexy One, Melanin A1. Okay, Miss Eve Jean, I see you. It's been a while. Cherokee Descended Dale Pink Blue, Shawana, Goddess Yemiya, Dragon Lily. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. With that all being said, hey Stacy, Honey 69, Timber Dan, Ladybug. Yes, I can see you, Ladybug. Okay, listen. King SB, I see you. Someone said, hey, Michael Barnes. Queen, was you in GS Live last night? No, beloved, I wasn't in there. Hey, Maya, Gregory, Gina, Gigi. Let me tell you all something before I get started. It's so y'all know I have made many of people upset, exposing Wig and Bussy Reek. And so someone left a very ridiculous comment yesterday evening on my live. Now, the moderators blocked this person, but it was very interesting because this person just is obviously, thank you, Alex, said, love your necklace. Thank you, beloved. This was a gift from one of my lovely subscribers. Thank you. But anyway, the moderators blocked this person who calls himself Patricia Slade. But I want you all to pay attention because you may recall approximately 2 weeks ago, someone sent a message to my fan page. I guess they thought I was in charge of it, but my moderator is Aeon. And so Aeon sent me the message, and I read it to you all. They were calling me a transgender, calling me gay, saying all these disparaging things, saying that I bring black men down, black women like me bring black men down, and all of this foolishness, right? They said they would pull my criminal history because they would send for it, is what they actually said. They would send for my criminal history also, alluding to the fact that they've obviously pulled other people's criminal history or sent for it. Lakiva said haters. Absolutely. Now, I told you all that day when I read that to you that I believe it was Bussy Reek. And I absolutely do believe it because pretty much gave themselves away when they said, I'll send for your criminal history. And I absolutely think that Bussy Reek is working with the federal government. I absolutely think that he is a whole agent. Okay, some of you may disagree, but that's what I think. And with that all being said, if he is in fact an agent, he would say send for, because he would likely get information from me or anyone else who's exposing him from the feds. So with that all being said, this same person who I still think is Bussy Reek left me a message yesterday in the chat. Now, some of you may have seen it before the mods blocked it, but we have a screenshot of it. And I'm going to be reporting it to ScrewTube. See what they do about it, okay, which is likely nothing, but I'm going to see nevertheless, okay? So hold on, beloveds. This is what it says. Hold on, let me go to the screenshot. Now, here's what it said. It said, Michi got the hots for Reek, R-I-Q, talking about Tyreek or Bussy Reek, I'm assuming, but of course. Michi has the hots for Reek, and you got the hots for Michi. Is Mr. Hotel still sleeping with your son? That shite is just nasty. Your doctor will hear about all the confusion you're starting. Now, I'm going to tell you why I find this all interesting. Because Bussy Reek is the very person that we all know. As soon as he gets into a beef with somebody, he gets upset, or someone starts calling him out on his BS and exposing him. Doesn't he always call that person gay? Doesn't he start putting photoshopped images of the person? It's usually a male, but doesn't he usually start putting a photoshopped image of them in a dress? And then he likes to play that song, I Like the Boys. And then he starts calling them Bussy and Boochie Cat and all that stuff, right? So that person who sent that message to the fan page DMs was calling me gay, calling me a transgender and all that, right? And then he called them gay and agents projecting. Yes, Alex, absolutely. And so now in this comment from that same individual, they're calling not only me gay, but my son gay, which is so hilarious, right? And so it is also childish. Yes, mommy, it absolutely is. Says a lot about Bussy Reek. He must be the real Bucci Bear himself, sounding hella sus. Yes, you're absolutely right, beloved. Absolutely right. Okay, I agree. I absolutely do think that he himself is that way, and that he needs to come on out that closet and live his best life. That's my opinion. And I also think that that's what he's doing, is just projecting. And he thinks that will bother people. It doesn't bother me, because you can call me whatever you want, honey. It's what I answer to that is important, okay? So with that all being said, he can't challenge you, so he has to insult your character, says the conscious room. Yes, absolutely. As if the queen cares about being called gay. Exactly, Timber Dan. I mean, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna get mad and go on a whole rant? He needs to sit down somewhere. If that isn't him, then whoever that person is needs to sit down somewhere. And pay attention. They said your doctor will hear about all the confusion you're starting. So what now? Lot Wizard said the accuser is childish and jealous. Definitely childish, beloved. Definitely childish. Okay, so now let's get into it, because there's some information on the Shanquella Robinson case. Okay, and I know that's what you're all here for, so we're going to get into that first. Now, so her friends are still on the run. They still haven't located them. And like I told you all the other day, I'm still wondering why they haven't, if they actually went live. Okay, I'm just wondering. But so nevertheless, they say that Mexico has issued an arrest warrant. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So here's what they say. Mexican prosecutor issues arrest warrant and death of American woman Shanquella Robinson attacked on video. I'm going to share my screen. By now, you all have seen most of the footage they're going to show, but I'm just going to show it again as a recap. This was reported by Fox News. Make sure you all can see that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Seems like the computer froze. Hold on for a second.
Fully engaged, well-informed parent is a powerful thing. That's why I support Answers in Genesis, and I would recommend that you do as well. Because it's important to remember that the battle for our kids' minds isn't one in the courts or the classroom. It's one from the safety and comfort of our own home. So be the influence our kids need and support Answers in Genesis today.
Quilla, can you at least fight back? At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
Yeah. Quilla, can you at least fight back? At least something.
Okay, I'm sorry, beloveds. I didn't want to watch that again. I actually thought that was a news report. But anyway, let's talk about what they're saying. They said Mexican authorities have issued an arrest warrant for an unnamed person and suspect in the death of American woman Shanquella Robinson. Now, the warrant was issued on Wednesday by Mexican law enforcement, and the FBI is conducting a parallel investigation. The suspect has not yet been identified. Now, from what we have already gathered, I would think that the suspect would be Dejanay or Winter, because they did say Winter delivered the last blow. Now, they say this case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against an alleged perpetrator, a friend of her who is the direct aggressor. This is what Baja California Surge Superior Prosecutor Daniel de la Rosa Anaya said to ABC News. He also added that, saying it actually wasn't a quarrel, but instead a direct aggression. We're carrying out all the pertinent procedures, such as the Interpol alert and the request for extradition to the United States of America. Now, Robinson, age 25, was found dead in the city of San Jose del Cabo on October 29th after traveling to the resort area with 6 friends the day prior. Mexican authorities say that her cause of death was a severe spinal cord injury. A homicide investigation was launched. Now, here's the thing. They said a severe spinal cord injury, but now they're saying in another report, they said it was actually cardiac arrest. Though she did have a severe spinal cord injury, they said that the actual cause of death was cardiac arrest. Okay, that's what they said. So hold on, because here's another report. I'm actually trying to find the one with the with a video of her mother talking. Hold on just a moment, because this one came out maybe like an hour or so ago. Hold on, let me Google it real quick. In the meantime, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, here it is right here. Hold on. Let me get this video queued real quick. And this actually says this was reported, this update's from 20 plus minutes ago. So they're saying that in roughly a 20-second long clip, a female aggressor approaches Shanquella and knocks her to the ground before delivering a flurry of brutal punches and kicks. They also said that she kicked Shanquella in the neck. Now, I don't know if we knew that before, but they said that she was kicked in the back of the neck. That may be what severed her spinal cord. I'm not sure. But they say a prone Shanquella slumps defenseless to the floor in response. Although her attacker is fully clothed, she is inexplicably naked. A man seemingly filming the attack tells Shanquella to fight back. Now, they say the FBI confirmed last week that it had launched an investigation into Robinson's death. Mr. Rosa Ananya, the local prosecutor, told authorities that they're carrying out all pertinent procedures, such as the Interpol alert, and request the extradition from the United States. When told by ABC that a warrant had been issued in the investigation into her daughter's death, Robinson's mother, Salamandra Robinson, responded saying, "That's what we have been waiting for someone to finally be held accountable and arrested. I just want for justice to be served." So I'm going to tell you like this, honey, they can run, but they can't hide, because absolutely they're going to be arrested. The U.S. has no problem letting them be extradited to Mexico. Midnight Green says, as a result of the beating, that was enough to trigger a heart attack. Well, she already had a seizure. When there's damage to the spine, that can make you have a seizure. And that is likely why she had a heart attack also. I'm not sure. I'm no medical expert, so don't get me to lying, but damage to the spinal cord would likely cause someone to have a seizure. And we do know that she had a seizure prior to her death. Those medical folks were paid off with the money and jewelry they took from the poor woman, says Bree. I absolutely believe so. But now another thing is, I heard a report also that it was $17,000. Now there's some people are saying that it was $17,000, not just 10. Okay, so this is all real crazy. And like I said, I'll be keeping you guys updated as more information comes in. So in other news, I want y'all to listen to this. Hold on. Hold on. Here's another report. Let me see if they have any other news on here. Hold on for just a moment, beloveds. I'm waiting for these ads and pop-ups. So we can see what they have to say. In the meantime, don't forget, beloveds, to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I told you all that YouTube pleasantly unsubscribes people on a regular, okay? So just make sure, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Now, I know that someone put in the chat that they fortunately got their notification today before the live ended. Well, that's likely because it's Thanksgiving, okay? And they're likely, the YouTube support people, they're likely not at work today, all right? And so maybe you all will get your notifications. Okay, here we go.
The death of an American tourist in Mexico. The FBI has now opened an investigation into Shanquella Robinson's mysterious death. Matt Rivers is in Mexico City for us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Robin. We've been covering this story for more than a week now, and with this new information that just came out really yesterday evening and overnight, more questions than ever now surround the death of Shanquella Robinson here in Mexico.
This morning, a family looking for answers surrounding the death of North Carolina native Shanquella Robinson at a luxury resort during a vacation in Mexico. The FBI now investigating as a bombshell new development has emerged. Mexican authorities say the American tourist may have been alive and that a medical professional on site may have been working on the 25-year-old for 3 hours before police arrived on the scene. According to local Spanish language reports, one of the guests staying at the resort called for help around 2 p.m. Upon arriving, informing medical professionals that she had, quote, drunk a lot of alcohol. A doctor reportedly said she was stable but dehydrated, suggesting she be treated at a hospital. The guests, however, insisted she stay in the villa. Law enforcement authorities not called until later, eventually declaring Robinson deceased just after 6 p.m. Those reports differing from an autopsy obtained by ABC News, listing that medical professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m., declaring her dead within 15 minutes, citing the Charlotte native died from a severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck.
We got our first dead body.
This morning, a new video surfacing showing Shanquella resting in a hammock at some point before the trip turned deadly.
Buddy.
I heard some stuff, a dead body. And, that just make me wonder, that was they plan all the time.
This on the heels of the now viral video, too violent to show, of a female roommate appearing to assault Shanquella.
They just stood there and watched and didn't even try to stop it or break it up. She wasn't even fighting back. They attacked her.
Over the weekend, the community gathering to lay the once vibrant businesswoman to rest. Justice can't come soon enough for the Robinson family.
To let me know that my daughter's being murdered wasn't going to go in vain, that somebody's going to be prosecuted.
And even with all this new information, no formal suspects have been declared in this case by either the police, the Attorney General's office here in Mexico. So a formal conclusion surrounding this death still seems very far away at this point.
Yeah,
Guys.
but many want to hear from those friends, especially after that video went viral.
So here's the thing. Him sitting there recording her, talking about we got our first dead body, that makes it look like they absolutely planned on killing her. That's what that looks and sounds like. Like they absolutely had planned this from the beginning. Okay? And that's going to have a whole lot to do with the case moving forward when they get to court. Because if they planned this from day one, that's premeditated. Okay? That's premeditated, talking about our first dead body. Yeah, that's not... Who thinks that's a joke? Why would you even say something like that unless you were plotting something? That's not something people normally say, is it? Bree says, I truly believe that, Queen. Yes, I do too. Samantha Ford said, yes, premeditation. Yeah, I think it was all planned out methodically. I mean, and then when you look at how quickly she was gone after they got there, within less than 24 hours. So I absolutely think they all planned it. And here's the thing. They're now on the run. Now, we need to ask ourselves, when they took her money and credit cards, did they take that so that they could use that to be on the run? Another thing is, I don't think they thought this was going to escalate as it has. I don't think they thought this was going to go viral and there was going to be so many people asking questions and looking into it. I think that these idiots, because they're clearly idiots, I think they went over there plotting to do something to her and then to take her money and all of that because they were haters, jealous, and just probably broke and dusty. And she paid for the whole trip, by the way, for the Airbnb and all of that. So I believe Gentleman Rated said I would gladly snitch on him. Okay, I hope somebody does. So I think they had planned this all out, like I said, and I think they didn't have any idea that it would get as serious as it is, as far as people finding out about it and, it going viral and all of that. It wouldn't garner all this attention. I think that's what they suspected. I think they literally thought that it would not garner this much attention. They'd go over there, do what they did, and just come back to the U.S. and live their lives and tell the whole lie that she died from alcohol poisoning, and that would be the end of it. Maybe go over and try to comfort the mother for a few days just to play it off and feign concern. But then it all blew up in their faces, and now these idiots are on the run. They're going to start turning on each other very soon. Pay attention. This is how it goes. They're all going to start turning on one another very soon because they're not going to be able to get far. Where do they think they're going? They don't have an unlimited supply of money. They certainly don't have a lot of people on their sides, if anybody. So they're going to be caught very soon. And when they are caught, they're all going to start folding and pointing the finger of blame and shame at each other. And that is how we're going to get to the bottom of it. Okay, that's how we're going to get the truth. They're going to start telling on everybody. They got some balls seeing her mom like that. Oh, yes, absolutely. That guy Nasir Khalil. He went over there for 4 days straight, smiling in that woman's face. Smiling in that woman's face. No doubt it was premeditated for sure. They don't know what was coming, what's coming in the Mexican jail. Honey, they sure don't. wherever they are hiding out at. I hope they're watching that movie called Broke Down Palace about those girls from the U.S. who went over there and got caught with cocaine and then ended up in that prison over there in Thailand. Okay. Anyway, they're going to get exactly what they deserve. That's what's going to happen to them. So now let's talk about Kanye. Here they go with some more BS about Kanye. I want y'all to pay attention to all the stuff that's going to start coming out. Because isn't this what happens when you tick off certain people? Isn't this what happens? Now they say Kanye West made a Yeezy designer sit on the floor during an hours-long meeting and then told her she didn't deserve to sit at the table. Now they're coming out with all kinds of stuff. Shenanigans. Pay attention. They say Kanye West, also known as Ye, made a young female designer sit on the floor for hours long during a meeting, which cited an ex-staffer who was in the room. The publication spoke to more than a dozen former Adidas and Yeezy staffers. The ex-employees who requested anonymity told the publication that West created a toxic work environment for people who worked under him at the Adidas Yeezy partnership. Now, if this is the case, why didn't anybody complain about this before? Don't you all find it very convenient that now they're coming up saying these things and supposedly the people who are telling these stories want to remain anonymous? How do we know it's not Adidas themselves pushing a narrative? Because they're mad because, like I told you all, they have to pay him. See, Kanye West is a smart businessman. Okay, he's very smart. They have to pay him for breach of contract. And also, not only that, if they breached the contract, which I'm assuming they did, very likely that they did. But at the end of no news blasting the 17 rabbi arrested in New Jersey. Oh, absolutely not. And let's talk about that because I think I have the receipts. But here's the thing. Like I said, they're upset likely because they have to still pay him. Because in the contract, he said something about, I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember the exact wording, but it basically said, that if he leaves partnership with them and they still use, his ideas and designs or whatever, that they still have to pay him a portion of the proceeds. So they have to pay him whether or not he's working with them. And they don't like that, I'm sure. Who would? So he's still getting paid. All right. And many of these companies are mad because Kanye can't be controlled because they can't silence him. So all of this stuff is going to come out and they can easily concoct stories, pay attention, if they're not telling us who's saying these things. And even if people come forward and say these things themselves, that doesn't make it true. Let's not forget how people lie all the time for money. How do we know Adidas didn't promise them something? Okay. I mean, if these stories were true, why would you wait until now to start coming forward? Like the story I told you all yesterday when they claimed that he showed porn videos of him and Kim and explicit photos and all those things. Well, why are you just now saying something? If that happened as far back as 2018, why would you just now bring that up? Root Tracker said they never liked him from jump. They likely didn't, probably haters. Okay? Just smiled in his face. Hashtag backstabbers. Let me tell y'all something. When stuff like this happens, beloveds, this is how people turn on you. I told you all before how I sued a company years ago that I was working for. I sued them, okay, for discrimination. They fired me because I had allegations of sexual harassment on a Caucasian coworker who was in fact my boss. He was sexually harassing me on a regular. I wrote up a personal statement. I sued them after they fired me for reporting it. I sued them for retaliation and discrimination. Now, with that all being said, when the story was being investigated by the EEOC, because I filed with them to get a right to sue, when the EEOC was investigating it, right, the employees who smiled in my face, some of them look like me. Well, they were sitting there, saying things like, oh, she used to bring a black book to work every day and used it to write down things that other employees were doing. Well, that's absolutely true. I guess they thought that was going to make me look bad. But yes, I was bringing a black book every day. What I was writing down was the time and dates for every time my boss was harassing me, trying to show me nude pictures of himself, right? Saying things that were inappropriate. and all of that. I also wrote down some of the racist things that he said. A black woman came in and she was very dark skinned, quite beautiful to me. And I asked him, was he going to hire her after the interview? And he said, no, why would I hire her? She's as black as your shoes. That's what he said to me. And I'm black. You're talking about another black person to me, but when I reported it, you know what they told me? The VP of the company told me, well, maybe he just thought he could joke with you like that. I said, why would he ever think that he could joke with me about a black person when I'm a black person? Why would he specifically want to think that he can joke with me about how dark her skin is when I'm dark skinned? Make it all make sense. Yes, I took a black book to work every day and wrote down everything that went on and who did what and who said what, because I knew that I was going to sue them and I would have had them subpoenaed. But we didn't have to go to court because they settled out of court. My point is that when you're in a dispute with your former employee or partnership with a company, when you're leaving, other people who still work there and who still need their jobs, they will lie on you, turn against you, and they will say whatever the company tells them to say because they need their jobs. That's how that goes. So don't ever be surprised when that happens. They will lie on you, start saying things that you told them in private or whatever. They'll do all of that because they want and need their job. And you're already fired as far as they're concerned. So that's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. But so anyway, let me continue. So they say the publication spoke to more than a dozen former Yeezy Adidas staffers. The employees didn't want to be named. They wanted to remain anonymous. The collaboration between the rapper and the sportswear giant lasted 9 years, almost a decade. So they had plenty of time to make these complaints. Now, the ex-co-workers said West would praise some workers while belittling others that he had previously supported. One former employee described it as playing mind games. Let me talk about that. So here's the thing. Hey, Mark Ayers from the UK, Water Sniper. Here's the thing. They said he would praise some workers and belittle others that he had once praised. Okay, well, that happens all the time with bosses. That happens all the time with bosses. If you're doing your job, yeah, I'm going to give you praises. But if you're not doing your job, you're not doing the tasks that you've been delegated to do and perform to the best of your ability, or at least to my satisfaction, I'm going to belittle you too. Okay? I'm going to go in on you. I'm going to say, listen, you're not doing your job. I'm going to need you to do X, Y, and Z. Now, some may call that belittling. I call it just delegating, orders and tasks. Constructive criticism. If you want your job, do what you're told. All right? Now, they can call that belittling because they don't like being talked down to, but isn't that what bosses do when you're not performing as you should be? See how they're trying to paint narratives? Now, all of a sudden, Yeezy's the bad guy. Now, all of a sudden, employees are coming out of the woodwork, right? Kanye's name speaks volume. Queen has his name as Kanye, meaning Kanyu. Davida, you think that his name means Kanyu? You think he's a con? Well, here's the thing. I don't think that he's a con. I think that these devils that are coming against him are cons and liars. That's what I think. Okay? I'm not going to ever side with wanton supremacy because that's exactly what this is all about. Wanton supremacy. All right? And I think that Kanye has shown enough receipts to prove his point, and they have done enough foolishness themselves to further prove his point. So how's he the con, beloved? They still have to pay him, says Steve. Absolutely. 6'3" Surgeon says, yes, why not? They know what they're doing. Yes, absolutely. True Justice says, facts, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay? So Sergeant King said he picked them. Now, with that all being said, they go on to say that the ex-staffer cited by the publication said the incident started with a disagreement between West and the young designer. And they claimed that Kanye said, you don't deserve to sit at the table. This is what the former employee recalled West saying before making the designer sit on the floor for the first meeting, which they said lasted hours. West was dropped by Adidas on October 25th after a series of scandals and intense public criticism. In one incident, the rapper posted a series of anti-Semitic tweets. His account was locked following the post later and then reinstated. Now, a spokesperson for Adidas said, Adidas does not tolerate hate speech and offensive behavior and therefore has terminated the Adidas Yeezy partnership. We have been and continue to be actively engaged in conversations with our employees about the events that led to our decision to end the partnership. Now, I want to tell y'all what they're doing. Here's what Adidas is doing, in my opinion. They're getting these employees to speak on their behalf and to say all of these disparaging things about Kanye, so that in the event of anything happening to where they have to go to court, which they likely will, because I'm sure they don't want to just go ahead and pay him or whatever. So they want to be able to have these people coming forward so it can look legitimate as to why they breached the contract by ceasing to do business with him. That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. That's what it looks like. Deuce Cigarello said, mind games, how sway. He's supposed to be the mental case. Now he's a brainiac? Right. Deuce Cigarello, very good point, beloved. Make it all make sense, okay? Now, they were acting like something's wrong with Kanye's mind, like he's the one with the mental health issues, but now they're acting like he's playing mind games with them, okay? It's not adding up. They need to sit down somewhere. King SB said, a paper trail. Yes. Character assassination, says Swana, exactly what it is, honey. These people need to sit down somewhere. Now, we already know what's going on with Balenciaga. I told you all that yesterday. If you missed it, please go back and rewatch. Go back and watch the video. So now let's talk about this Oklahoma governor whose intoxicated 20-year-old son is caught on a body cam telling the police, yeah, my dad's the governor. I guess he thought that was supposed to get him off. So anyway, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Find exceptional financing during the season of inspiration at Jim Ellis Mazda of Marietta.
To be honest, my dad's the governor.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I know.
Governor Stitt's son is drunk at Guthrie Haunts, and somebody got into his unlocked truck and dragged out a Pelican case full of firearms. And I asked Governor Stitt and his wife to come up here and retrieve the firearms because he's 20 years old and he's intoxicated. And he was like, I'll just send a trooper.
To be honest, my dad's the governor.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I know.
Governor Stitt's son is drunk at Guthrie Haunts.
This fool said, yeah, my dad's the governor. The cop told him, I don't care. So anyway, this is what they say. Body camera footage from a Halloween incident. Hold on. They say body camera footage from a Halloween incident involving the Oklahoma governor's son has gone viral as it appears to show the intoxicated 20-year-old brushing off police concerns due to who his father is. Now, the footage obtained by OKC Fox shows Governor Kevin Stitt's son, John, who goes by Drew, standing in front of an officer with the Logan County Sheriff's Office on Halloween night. Deputies for the local sheriff office had been deployed to Guthrie Haunts, a 30,000 square foot indoor scare space located just 37 miles north of Oklahoma City. Now, they were called there after finding a box, or when they got there, they found a box that contained 2 rifles, 2 pistols, several magazines, and ammunition. This is what's in the police report. Now, while officers assessed the situation, Governor Stitt's 20-year-old son approached the law enforcement officials and informed them that the box of firearms belonged to him and simultaneously let them know about who his personal relations were. To be honest, my dad's the governor. John can be heard telling a deputy, who later tells the young man she doesn't care. So anyway, you said these are your firearms? The deputy can be heard asking the underage son of the governor to confirm, to which he replies, yes. Do any of them belong to your dad? She adds, to which John confirms that one of the 2 pistols, the 7mm, was allegedly his father's. Now, the deputies then instruct the young man to call his parents, which is included in the body camera footage released by the sheriff's office. Someone stole my gun case from my truck while I was at a haunted house in Guthrie. This is what he's heard saying, relaying to his parents on the phone. Further along the clip, after frustratingly relaying to her fellow officers what was transpired, the same deputy can be heard explaining what happened when she called the 20-year-old's parents. Governor Stitt's son is drunk at Guthrie Haunts, and somebody got into his unlocked truck and dragged out a Pelican case full of firearms. I asked Governor Stitt and his wife to come and retrieve the firearms, but he is 20 years old and is intoxicated, or because he is 20 years old and is intoxicated, and he was like, I will just send a trooper. Now, the deputy, according to a longer section of the video clip viewed by OKC Fox, describes how she's never experienced anything like this before, saying that I'm pretty upset right now. John was trying to say he wasn't intoxicated and that he wasn't doing anything. I could tell by his pupils he is really intoxicated. You can smell him. He's slurring his words. He's got a car full of people and obviously had a trunk full of guns too. Now, the governor's son has not been arrested, but deputies offered the other people who were found with him, found with John Stitt. Logan County District Attorney Laura Office said in a statement, they noted that the agreement is only available to people without a prior criminal history and would include community service. Hold on, say what now? Hold on, it looks like they left something out, a deferred. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. They offered a deferred prosecution agreement that was offered to him and to the other people who were found with him. Okay, they offered the deferred prosecution agreement, which states that the agreement is only available to people without a prior criminal history and would include community service, alcohol awareness meetings, and counseling. Well, here's the thing. That's all fine, but why wasn't he arrested? Because I thought they locked his little behind up. He still should have been arrested for driving drunk, okay? Please. And having guns underage. Now, there was no reason to seize the guns as evidence, Thomas said. There were, however, conflicting accounts provided to the deputies about how the guns had been taken from the truck. So you mean to tell me he didn't get charged with lying to a police officer, giving false statements? Well, I guess his privilege did work in that case. And a weapon concurs skated. Let that have been a car full of us. Exactly. 6'3" soldier. Yeah, absolutely right. No, he wasn't 21. He was only 20 years old. Wanda. He was only 20 years old. So anyway, honey, he got away with that one. Exactly. Don't drink and drive. And then he told false statements to the police because they said contradicting stories. And so he definitely should have been arrested. But okay, that's what it is. So now let's talk about the incident that happened at Walmart. The shooting. Hold on. Matter of fact, hold on. No, before we get into that. No, yeah, let's talk about that first. And then I got to tell you all about the Louisville Metro Police Department, the same ones involved in the death of Breonna Taylor. Some interesting information about them. So we're going to get into it. Let me share my screen so you all can see this. Hold on. Hold on, let me get my receipts together. Okay, I'm going to go back to that because I'm still looking for the receipt. In the meantime, let's talk about Herschel Walker and the Louisville Metro Police Department. Let me pull this up. So the police chief, Erika Shields from LMPD, she's actually resigning. Now pay attention because this lady was formerly the police chief in Atlanta. She transferred to Louisville, Kentucky, and she hasn't been there. I don't think she's been there an entire year yet, but she's all of a sudden resigning. You see, they're under a federal investigation, okay, for some shady things that's been going on. So let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen.
JCPS is hiring bus drivers right now. We need you to safely transport students across the metro.
Chief Shields offered to resign as chief of police.
Right now at 5, a major shakeup at LMPD as the chief resigns. Now the mayor-elect will need to find a new leader for the department. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Bayless.
And I'm Rick Van Hoos. Louisville Police Chief Erika Shields has resigned effective at the end of Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher's term.
Mayor-elect Greg Greenberg made the announcement today. WLKY's Mark Vanderhoff joins us live with more on this development. Mark, what's next?
Well, Jennifer, Mayor-elect Craig Greenberg says he'll announce an interim chief by the end of the year. Now, Greenberg will be sworn in as mayor on January the 2nd, and after that, Erika Shields will stay on in an advisory role until February. Shields' tenure in Louisville will have lasted just shy of 2 years. She came after a summer of civil unrest following the death of Breonna Taylor. Months after her arrival, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a sweeping investigation into LMPD. She issued a statement today that reads in part, "I am proud to have served this department as it worked to implement more than 150 reform efforts, a police salary increase to attract and retain the best and brightest, and most importantly, a reduction in violent crime." At his press conference today, Greenberg would not say whether he asked for her resignation or what reason she gave for wanting to leave the department.
When new mayors begin their term in Louisville and across the whole country, it is typical, I would say, for new chiefs of police to come on board. And so this is an opportunity for our city, for our police, for our city government, for all of us to move in a new direction. And so that is why I accepted Chief Shields' resignation.
Now, I spoke with some city leaders who say a big part of this might just be the need for a fresh start after all the city has been through. We'll bring you their thoughts tonight at 6. Mark Vanderhoff, WLKY News.
Thank you, Mark. And current Mayor Greg Fisher thanks Shields for her service today. He issued a statement that says in part, quote, "At an incredibly challenging time, she came to Louisville and led an LMPD focused on reform and violent crime reduction," end quote.
First of all, my mistake, she hasn't been there for less than a year. It's been less than 2 years is what I meant. But here's the thing that's very interesting. Like I said, they're under investigation and being scrutinized. And I think that played a role in her resigning. Okay, that's what I absolutely think. They say they don't have a reason. But they say just a few days ago, an LMPD officer was terminated after a violent Hardin County arrest was caught on tape. So let's get into it, because they have a whole lot of accusations being made against them. Did she work in Atlanta? Yeah, she was actually the police chief of Atlanta prior to going to Kentucky to be the police chief. Ray Williams says, "Queen, the main one, in my opinion, was the fool who asked, you gonna fight back? He really, really need that unlimited. Plus, he was recording the whole tragedy." Well, of course. He wasn't trying to help her. He really wasn't her friend.
We defeated Donald Trump.
We sent him packing.
And elected Georgia's first black senator.
Now we have to vote again
to give Reverend Warnock a full term in the Senate.
And stop Herschel Walker.
We have the power.
Vote by December 6th.
Now to an update on a story we brought you yesterday. LMPD has terminated an officer because of his involvement in a violent arrest while he was working at a different department. The dashcam video we're about to show you might be hard to watch. Donald Johnson was working at the Hardin County Sheriff's Department when this arrest happened in 2021. A traffic stop turned police pursuit. You can see in the video, Joshua Tyler steps out of his vehicle with his hands raised. Eventually, a Kentucky State Police trooper steps in, and that's where things escalate quickly. And then a series of punches are thrown. Johnson, the officer just fired from LMPD, is listed as the arresting officer in this case. Hardin County Sheriff John Ward says they investigated the incident internally and found the 2 deputies were warranted in their use of force. After the incident, Donald Johnson left the agency, joining LMPD in May of this year. And effective today, LMPD says his employment is terminated to, quote, promote the efficiency of the department.
This is the kind of stuff that goes on. That's the kind of stuff that goes on with the LMPD, honey. Pay attention. I mean, they don't mind beating. How was that warranted, said Timberdan. Exactly. The man got out with his hands up, laid on the ground. What are you going to beat the crap out of the man for? This is what these devils do. This is what these devils do, honey. I absolutely cannot. So anyway, let's go to the footage from Walmart. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
No motive for this incident. Just another case of gun violence affecting communities. Today, police confirming the shooter's identity as 31-year-old Andre Bing from Chesapeake. They say he was armed with one handgun and several rounds of ammunition. Just after 10 o'clock Tuesday night, the first 911 calls came from inside this Chesapeake, Virginia Walmart. By 11:20 p.m., police declared the scene safe with no risk to the general public.
6 victims have died. 4 victims are in area hospitals, and the suspect is dead from what we believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Police confirming the shooting started inside the break room of the store, and the shooter was an employee. Of the 7 people who were killed, 3, including the shooter, were found dead in the break room. 1 victim was found dead towards the front of the store, and 3 other people were transported to hospitals but later died.
These are people in our community whose lives were cut short the day before Thanksgiving. It's heartbreaking.
Harper says he was in that break room just moments before the shooting started. He says he walked out not long before the gunshots began, hid in a clothes rack, eventually escaping through another exit.
It felt like forever getting out of that store.
Breonna Tyler was also in that break room.
He just opened fire on everybody in the break room, and it is by the grace of God that a bullet missed me.
The store will remain closed for the next few days until law enforcement is finished processing the scene.
This year appears much busier than...
Asha said she will always believe it was venom. You know what? It could be. I don't know, honey. It could be. His manifesto was found on his cell phone, says Tawana. Oh, really? So he had an actual manifesto? You know, this is getting very interesting because, you know, black mass shooters usually don't have a manifesto, to my knowledge. They usually don't leave a manifesto. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, here it is right here. This literally came out like 2 hours ago. So let's talk about it. Chilling manifesto on Walmart gunman Andre Bing's phone reveals possible motive for the Chesapeake shooting. Okay, so let's see what they say. A law enforcement source told 10 on Your Side that in the document, Bing described being upset about a recent change in employment status and complained that he was being harassed by fellow employees. Officials have not confirmed the existence of the manifesto and are yet to reveal the motive for Tuesday night's massacre. However, several of Bing's colleagues at the store in Chesapeake, Virginia, have spoken out to reveal that he had a lot of issues with other staff members and had displayed threatening behavior in the run-up to the shooting. Joshua Johnson, a former Walmart employee who had worked as a maintenance worker at the store until 2019, said that the 31-year-old had given a harrowing warning about what he could do if he ever lost his job. He said that if he ever got fired from his job, he would retaliate and people would remember who he was. Okay, well, I'm sorry you heard him say that and you didn't find, it necessary to go and report it? That sounds crazy to me. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. She said that he told her if he ever lost his job, got fired, he would retaliate and people would remember who he was. Once in the chat, if you would have reported that. 400 said they're making it up. I don't know. But if you all had heard someone say that once in the chat, if you would have reported it, because that would have been a red flag to me. I definitely would have reported. Mr. says, stop playing with black men's jobs. Stop playing with their jobs. They don't have nothing to do with them going and shooting up the place and killing other people who had nothing to do with them losing their job or getting demoted. Those people who he murdered didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, so most people saying yes, they would have reported. I definitely would have. That would have been a cause for concern, as far as I would see. So then they go on to say, another employee who worked with the alleged gunman at the store from 2015 to 2018 revealed that he was paranoid about the government watching him. He was always saying the government was watching him. He didn't like social media, and he kept black tape on his cell phone. On his phone camera. Everyone always thought something was wrong with him, says Chandrea Reese. He didn't like to be recorded. He was always scared the government was listening. A Walmart employee who survived the shooting told 10 on your side, that she believed the attack was planned because the perpetrator was known to have issues with other managers at the branch. He appeared to target other managers and was heard laughing at one point during the attack. Despite the instances of concerning behavior, Bing's co-workers were shocked that he would go on to carry out a mass shooting at the store. One person said, I mean, from what I saw, he was a good guy, but I've heard that he had issues and they tried to talk him through his issues. A worker told the local outlet this information, saying that they never saw this coming, not for a million miles away. Walmart confirmed on Wednesday that the gunman who allegedly killed 6 victims before turning the gun on himself was a night manager at the store. In a statement, the retail giant said that Bing was an overnight team lead at the Chesapeake Superstore and had worked with the company since 2010. Now, the 6 victims in the attack also all worked at the store. They were identified as Lorenzo Gamble, Brian Pendleton, Kelly Pyle, Randall Blevins, and Tanika Johnson, with the 6th victim not being publicly named because he's a minor. He was described as a 16-year-old boy from Chesapeake. This is all so sad. The shooting unfolded inside the store break room, where witnesses say the suspect entered and began spraying bullets around the room before turning the gun on himself. Police were called to the reports. Officers say they found the suspect dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in the break room, along with 2 of his alleged victims. Other victims were found deceased toward the front of the store. 3 other victims were rushed to the hospital, where they later succumbed to their injuries. At least 6 other surviving victims were taken to local hospitals for further treatment. And here are the pictures of the victims. They say one of the victims, Blake Williams, is fighting for his life on a ventilator after being shot during the attack, according to his family members. His cousin told the New York Post that he wasn't even supposed to be at work that night, but covered a shift for a colleague. Wow. He is now unable to breathe on his own, and his family are expected to take him off of life support. This is all so sad. This just gets worse and worse. Now, police confirmed that Bing was armed with 1 handgun and several gun magazines, and was dressed in civilian clothing during the attack. A search warrant was executed on the suspect's home in the aftermath of the shooting, with Chesapeake's police chief Mark Soleski confirming that there was no ongoing risk to the public. President Joe Biden condemned the attack, coming 2 days before the Thanksgiving holiday. Because of yet another horrific and senseless act of violence, there are now even more tables across the country that will have empty seats this Thanksgiving. That's what Joe Biden said. Now, the mass shooting marks just the latest to rock America after a gunman opened fire inside of an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs on Saturday. 5 people were killed and 17 others injured. So let me show the pictures of the victims who sadly lost their lives at Walmart. Mr. says, stop bullying. Mr. How do you know anybody was bullying him, beloved? How do you know anybody was bullying him? How do you know he wasn't the bully? How do you know any of this is true? But here's the thing. Even if he was being bullied, are you condoning the fact that he shot at these people? Because that is no excuse. Okay, that's no excuse. He was a manager. If there were employees that were harassing him, bothering him, bullying him, he could have easily fired them. That's what managers are for, right? They're to delegate tasks, and they have a say in who stays there and who's not. You said his manifesto, Mr. Beloved. If you were paying attention, they just said that the police have not confirmed that he had a manifesto. Did I not just say that? Did I not just say that? Okay, sit down somewhere, because you're coming off as kind of strange to me. You seem to be making excuses for somebody who deleted 6 people, including themselves. Now, right? It's probably people that's over him that was bullying him. Mr. I'm going to put you in timeout because you sound crazy. Come back when you got some sense. All right? Come back when you got some sense, because I absolutely cannot. There's no excuse to delete people from the face of the earth because you are being bullied or any of that other stuff. Go get counseling, fire the people, speak to the higher ups of the company, do something, anything but that. All right? Please don't sit here in my chat and act like this is okay and make excuses. You sound ridiculous. Those are the victims who sadly lost their lives. My condolences to their family, friends, and loved ones. This is also very sad. Yes, that crazy beach area said no excuse. No, there's no excuse. How stupid can someone be? I don't like stupid people in my chat. I just don't. Okay, Mr. Please unsubscribe because I don't have time for foolishness. That's what I don't have time for. Okay? There's no excuse. Period. So anyway, with that all being said, let's talk about Herschel Walker. Let's talk about Herschel Walker because he needs to sit down somewhere. Before I talk about him, let's have a word from my sponsors over at beautifulheartsapparel.com, where they wear their hearts on their sleeves.
Beautiful Hearts Apparel, we have something for everyone. A look that's comfortable and stylish for work, play, or simply on the go. Beautiful Hearts Apparel, wear your heart on your sleeve.
May the ancestors welcome the melanated victims as they transition, says Letitia. Yes. Cassandra says, why all the laughing emojis? I guess they're laughing because I put Mr. in timeout for talking foolish. I don't know, beloved. But anyway, let's talk about Herschel Walker, as I was saying. Because he's very nonsensical. He's very nonsensical. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, so Herschel Walker, y'all know that he's always destroying the English language, right? Y'all know he's always doing that, saying something crazy. And so here we have another gaffe that he did. I don't know who's worse at this, himself or Sloppy Joe Jim Crow. But here's what the fool said. Hold on. Let me just pull this up on the screen because I think we have footage. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
See, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together. It is the Lord's work.
Well, first of all, this election is more than Herschel Walker. This election is about the people. And I said this.
We got 16 dead bodies in a buried shipping container. This is a serial killing network.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Timber Dan said, say what now? He said this erection is about the people. Hold on. Let me see what they say about this nut. Okay, during an appearance on Fox News on Tuesday night, Herschel Walker misspoke in an amusing way that ended up feeling extremely appropriate for his campaign in light of numerous lies about his sex life that he's told. Walker was appearing, as he frequently does lately, alongside two currently serving GOP senators, Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, who are stumping for him during his campaign in the Georgia U.S. Senate runoff election. Now, Walker's opponent, of course, Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock, who, if he wins, will help secure Democratic control of all Senate committees alongside enlarging the Democrats' majority. Early voting started this weekend. Now, at one point, he intended to say this election is for the people. But if we had to speculate without any evidence, perhaps had some of his many recent scandals in the back of his mind. They're basically saying that the reason he said the wrong word is because he was thinking about all the scandals he's done. Because what he actually said was this erection is for the people. This erection is for the people. He's the best candidate on so many levels. One for comedy, says Root Trackers. You know, Lillian said, one more time, Queen. Let me tell y'all something. Herschel Walker needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, I'm going to show it one more time. Hold on. Poor Herschel. He just completely massacres the English language time and time again. I don't know how he gets by with his foolishness.
Flex Foam did. It protects against different flows for up to 0 leaks. And it flexes to fit all bodies for up to 0 feel. Feel it yourself with Always Flex Foam.
Well, first of all, this election is more than Herschel Walker. This election is about the people. And I said this.
Yes. This election is about the people. Herschel Walker, you can sit down somewhere, okay? Miss Eva said, are we being punked? I wish we were. At least that would make sense, okay? If we were being punked, beloved, that would at least make sense, okay? Because he's making none. Pay attention. So, Alvin said, exactly, take a seat, okay? Absolutely. So listen, with that all being said, I'm about to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, or the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show, and the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. Now, with that all being said, Lisa Cabrera is going to be doing an interview. I'm trying to find the link so I can share. Lisa Cabrera is going to be doing an interview this evening at 7 p.m. with Ronald Dalton Jr., the man who did the documentary Hebrews to Negroes. So I'm going to share the link so you all can tune in, those of you who would like to see that, because I surely will. Okay? So make sure there's the link right there. Okay, like I said, Lisa Cabrera is doing a video, an interview with Ronald Dalton Jr., the person who did the video or the documentary. I love you, right, Black Sexy One. The person who did the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, which has caused Kyrie Irving all this trouble just because he simply posted the link. Okay, pay attention. So with that all being said, you're welcome, Nessie X, beloved. Okay, so I'm going to put the link again. Make sure you all share the link and please subscribe to Lisa's channel. Okay, share the link and subscribe to Lisa's channel. With that all being said, listen, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why